Hi, I'm Lee Tessier with Remax American Dream, and today I have with me Stephen Quigley from National Property Inspections. He's going to go over some things to look for in home inspections, and also some of the pitfalls that he runs into. So I'll let him start with how he begins with things.
Well, first, one of the things I take into consideration is the age of the home. A lot of factors will come into play depending on the age of the home. Certain materials that were used at that time of construction. To give you an example, in the 1980s and the 90s, they used a specific type of plumbing, polybutylene pipe, that had a high failure rate. Class action lawsuits and is a known issue. For townhouse construction in that same time frame, you're looking at FRT plywood, which was a fire retardant treated plywood that also had a high failure rate. Class action lawsuits, and that becomes an issue as well. So those are just two examples of one of the things that I look for and take into account before I even start.
How about today? Do you see much of a difference with foundations or mold issues, some of those things?
Yeah, and if you look at it from two different approaches, if you're looking at the vacant short sale or the foreclosed process, good possibility if power hasn't been on,
right,
you might be dealing with mold and
right,
water issues at that point. For a house that's been occupied for quite some time, one of the issues you might run into is if it's a concrete block foundation. Block is extremely porous, and unless it's properly waterproofed, and there's other factors like grading, downspout location, and gutters that come into play, you may also have a water penetration issue. With solid pour foundations, most of the time they're pretty solid state material. You're not going to get much water penetration. A lot of times, if you get cracking in the foundation,
right,
you might get some water in.
Then what happens in a case like that?
They basically will do an epoxy injection,
okay,
and it's done most of the time from the interior, so no excavation is needed, and they plug it, seal it, and the bond is just as hard as the concrete itself.
Okay. Anything else that, especially first-time home buyers, since it's their first time in a home, getting used to doing some maintenance or what to look for, caulking the tubs and making sure
Right,
maybe
absolutely,
grout.
right.
Stuff of that sort.
Well, one of the things that I always like to do, especially with first-time home buyers, is go through the entire process with them, explain everything in great detail. I like to provide more information than less,
right,
so they have a good idea of the maintenance process, their mechanical systems, their shutoffs, and so on. They'll have a really good understanding, and even with the report becomes almost like a portfolio for them,
right,
of how the house works, and basically tells a story of the house.
Right, and that's one thing we like with your reports, is because it's long for one thing. It has plenty of pictures. Everything's notated in the summary, so you can easily use it as a resource. Like
Right.
you always tell our clients, hey, use me as a resource, which helps down the road because you're going to have maintenance issues or other things that you're really not sure of. So, make sure you call them.
Absolutely. With the photographs, one of the things to take into consideration, not every client can be at the inspection.
Right.
The photographs actually helps tell the story of the inspection process and the condition of the house as well. So if you get the report and you don't have a construction background, you basically have a good understanding just based on the photographs alone.
Right. Right. So hopefully this provides great information for you. I wanted to thank Steve for coming in today and doing the video with us. If you'd like his contact information, feel free to email me direct at lee@leetessier.com, or you can call me at the office direct, 410-638-9555, or our broker office number is 410-803-0900.